I've completely lost control of this situation.
Well, hey there, all you witches, pagans, and other Coven and magical group members of YouTube. It's me, your boy Shane, and welcome back to my channel, as the case may be. I shot this video in reverse tonight, which is to say, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm exhausted, because we just had our first circle as a Coven, after the long quarantine. So, as I was leading up to tonight, you know, I had a lot of different feelings and thoughts and emotions about what circling again after such a long hiatus was going to be like. And I just kind of wanted to get kind of the thoughts and feelings of the other people in my coven, my magical partner Mario, and anyone else who was willing to kind of share their thoughts. So I took a little video about you know, what everyone's experience was tonight, and just some pre and post circle giddiness and silliness. And I thought I would share that with you guys, you know, obviously with their permission. So how our coven functioned during quarantine was, we had kind of, you know, not knowing what else to do, right? There's no rule book for what to do with your coven when you go through a global pandemic. And one of the kind of rubrics for assessment that we were using is we were sort of taking our cues from the public school system. So when the school shut down, we were like, all right, that's a pretty good indicator. Like, we should probably shut down. And then the schools sort of came back for a little bit, and then we didn't know what to do. And, it was a mess, right? All of 2020 was a mess. But our last circle before the pandemic really hit and really affected everyone was March 6th. So we had a beautiful circle. We actually elevated one of our guys to 2nd degree, and then the next thing we knew, we were shutting down. So this poor guy, you know, he just got this graduation, right? This next level, like, now there's new things for him to learn, new skills for him to acquire, and it's like, sorry, we're not meeting. And we were not meeting for a long time. We tried to have Zoom meetings with like mixed success. I am a little bit of a Luddite. I'm a little bit of a, you know, I like to keep technology out of my circle. I absolutely believe, theoretically, right? I believe that, you know, magic is a technology, and magic and science are not mutually exclusive. And, but I was never comfortable with the idea of doing ritual over Zoom or Microsoft Teams or Skype or what have you, right? I was never really feeling that. But we had meetings where we would go through the Book of Shadows, we would talk through our Sabbath rituals, we would kind of analyze the text, you know, we would talk about what the holidays personally meant to us, we would talk about, you know, just ourselves and our lives and how we were dealing with the stress of the pandemic. We would talk about some of the writings of Gardner and Valiente, and, you know, we did some meditations over Zoom, and we tried to hold it together for a while, and then it became obvious to me that it was just not working long term. People started to experience what, I saw this phrase in an article and I loved it, Zoom fatigue, right? So, like, you know, now school is on Zoom and meetings are on Zoom and people are trying to have social hangouts on Zoom, and like, after a while you just don't want to fucking be on Zoom anymore. Like, you just want to turn the camera off and just whatever. You know, and it's a lot to feel like you always have to be on, you know. So, it just became apparent between everyone's kind of deteriorating mental state, and all the stress and anxiety and depression and everything that the pandemic brought all of us, you know, that the Coven Zoom meetings were starting to do a little bit more harm than good, because I was finding that we would all just log in and then just kind of talk about the topic at hand for 5 minutes, and then it would kind of quickly devolve into a bitching session, right? Which is like, you know, that's useful sometimes, but that's what a therapist is for, not always a coven mate. So I said, you know what? we're just going to call it. We're just going to take an official break. We're going to take a hiatus, and better to use the time as a time of like sacred inactivity, right? Like take this time and, work on yourself, work on your own personal projects, go inwards, right? This is a time for you to do meditation and journaling and divination and dream work. Everything is shut down. It's not a time to be active, doing. It's kind of like the period of time between Samhain and Yule, or for us, Samhain and Imbolc. I like to do, where it's really a time of reflection and quiet and introspection. So the pandemic for me was a lot like that. It was like an extension of that time. And so I encouraged my initiates to kind of make the most of it, in that fashion. And just to take a break, and that when we were able to come together, that we were, we're really in it to win it. Well, around October, things had started to start to look up. And I think schools had tried meeting again in person. A couple other things had started. Restaurants started opening up, and we were like, shouldn't we open up a Coven again with maybe some differences, some restrictions, some different rules? And we did. We met for Samhain, and then we met once in November. And it was just not the same, So we had modified things, obviously. We weren't hugging, we weren't kissing, we weren't sharing a communal cup for cakes and wine. We were trying to kind of stay 6 feet apart in the circle room, which is not always easy in a second bedroom in Queens. It just wasn't working. Half the Coven was working remotely from home and were able to isolate, and that was wonderful. And half the Coven, had to work out in the field, in the world, like myself and a couple of others. I'm a food service manager, so I was at work every day. My job never shut down the entire time. I was at work every day. And I was like, I understand that not everyone is going to be comfortable sharing a sacred space with me yet. And like, no hard feelings about that. That's a decision everyone needs to make for themselves. So, we had 2 circles, and we were like, this ain't it, Chief. So we called it again, and now I'm happy to report that everyone in my Coven is fully vaccinated, which means not only have we all received, both doses of your vaccine du jour, but it's also been at least, they say like, oh, it's got like kind of a 2-week waiting period or 2-week, gestation period or whatever before you're considered fully vaccinated. So we chose tonight to start meeting again because it was a full month after the last of us had gotten our last shot. So we were feeling good heading into it. Everyone was, very kind of excited all week. I had mixed feelings, which I ended up talking to my magical partner about in this video after Circle. But Circle was great. It wound up exceeding my expectations. It was a really special night. I am dead on my feet. I probably look like death warmed over. But I hope you enjoy the kind of, being taken on this journey with my group, and just the silliness and the seriousness and the conversation. So here we have a little bit of time-lapse fun. The guys are starting to set up the altar. Can't show you anything too delicious, but, and there's one of our guys. He is just reviewing the ritual before we start, since it's been so long. We have some beautiful altar flowers. And this is just about the last thing I can show you before we really get into it. Everything after this is post-ritual silliness.
Right now, like full-on Gardnerian witch. I have to match all the way down. All the way down.
And then I get banned from YouTube.
Whatever.
I'd say demonetized, but no one's advertising on my channel.
The only reason that you wouldn't that they kick you out is if you show peen. You can't show peen, but you can show ass.
Good to know.
Yeah, it's the...
Show ass, baby. Every time you've
bleeding.
said bleeding butthole, my camera's been off, and I can't believe
I
it.
feel like that's gotta be some kind of Hecate thing, though.
It must
A
be.
bleeding butthole is a Hecate thing?
It's an initiation.
This is post-ritual delirium. This is...
An initiation rite of Hecate is bleeding butthole.
I don't think that's true. Also, don't say that too loudly. It's gonna end up on TikTok next week. And then it's gonna be, oh...
Well, I am the high priestess of Hecate. In order to be a Hecate high priestess, you must bleed from the butthole.
You do know both of my kids.
And none of the pleasure. It is not to do with, like, it's not like I just, like, rode a dick, I didn't ride, like, a 15-inch dick for 3 days straight and then I bleed out the butthole. No, that's just,
Of course you
like, it's not at all anything to do with that.
I'd like to
It's
say...
just the pain.
I'd like...
It's just the pain.
I'd like to say that this is not how I expected our first circle in 6 months plus to go, but I did. This is exactly how I expected it to go. There are few to no surprises about any of this.
No.
And oh my God, what is that?
My olive oil.
Oh.
I'm pouring my olive oil into my lamp. Duh.
What was I thinking?
Lubrication.
My lamp. My
Lube?
my lamp. There you go, girl. Live it. Yes. Work, Hestia. That's enough.
Yeah.
I'm getting canceled for this.
I'm an employee by night.
A witch.
Hi.
Government employee
God.
by night. A witch.
Oh,
But wait,
night,
I forgot my
oh,
lighter.
wait.
Where's my lighter?
With
Between two
Damn, and I thought mismatching my earrings made me daring. Never mind.
I've completely lost control of this situation. Let's make a video, I said. Let's talk about a worthwhile topic, like, covens and quarantine and such, I said.
It'll be fun, you
It'll
said.
be fun, I said. Okay.
Oh, come
The
on.
ugly wall, unfortunately.
I don't think
Especially
so.
out
Well-
of the Cheshire Cat mug.
The thing is that, like, this is the wall that doesn't actually have anything on. Like, all the opposite walls where we actually decorated. My mother decorated this.
Okay, we can do like a Coven-stead art tour another time, for sure.
For sure. Wait, art. I love. Oh yes,
No.
you are Tina. You need to literally.
Mama too works for the man, and here I am.
She literally, like, one of the things is. One of the things is that she has, like, ridiculous stage fright, and every time that she goes on stage, she goes, And so I just went, come on, Paul. And you went, Come on, Paul, are you coming?
You know what I love about you guys is you make me look totally normal. Like by
You
comparison.
are the normal one in this coven.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
That's not okay.
No, it's true. 100% true.
So what was Circle like for you after not meeting for a billion million years?
Oh my god. It was like,
Not being together in person.
yeah, it felt like an embodiment of the mysteries of, knowing someone, living with them, being with them, sharing this sacred space, and then being separated by, in the greater world, death. But this felt like that. It felt like a separation from these people that I like adore. And then meeting again was that reunion, was that feel like it just felt like that. Like, we're here again. This is it. This is home. We're home. We're finally here.
Yeah.
It finally happened. And so that's what it felt like to me.
Yeah, I was. I'm with you in that there was a lot of relief.
Yeah.
A lot of relief, like a weight off, like a load off my shoulders.
Yeah.
And a lot of joy.
Yeah.
And better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Like, I won't say like. So we've talked about this, and I don't know if I've talked about this with the YouTubes, but we talk about it amongst ourselves about like, being a coven leader and having a lot of responsibility and having a lot of areas in our lives where we are the adult in the room.
Yes.
So coming back to coven life,
Mm-hmm.
plus still being a manager at my food service job, plus being in school, plus all my other roles, responsibilities, routines. I'm not gonna say, oh, I was dreading coming back to Coven, because I think that's strong language.
It is.
But I was apprehensive because I was like, it's running a Coven is a lot of work. And
It's
is that
work.
something that do I
Yeah.
really want to take that on, or take that back on with
Yeah.
all these other things I have going on?
Yeah.
And tonight it didn't feel like work.
No, it doesn't. Like, that's
It felt
the
like
thing.
fun. It felt like a party.
Exactly. Like, that's the thing.
And that
that's
doesn't
like,
mean like it's not going
No.
to feel like work again
Of
in
course.
the future, but
Like,
like
that's
just
the
for
thing.
tonight, it was like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
this is why I do this.
Exactly. Like, it was the work that we do, we don't mind the work because this is stuff that we love that we stuff. This is stuff that we love. And so the work can be easy when it's something that we love this much. And this just like, this felt like that easy work. Like,
Yeah.
this felt like just getting it all back on track and everything. Just this relief of like, because another thing about Coven is that we are able to depend on people in Coven.
Yeah.
And we do. We depend
Absolutely.
on our students.
We're able to
every
lean
single
on
day.
them
And knowing that and feeling that again and just seeing everything just fall into place, like calling everybody up, everybody knowing their shit, like it was just
everyone knew what they were supposed to do, and it just kind of flowed very organically and very seamlessly.
it's easy. It's easy.
It was easy.
It's
It was
easy to
effortless.
put in this effort when
Yeah.
it is this easy. And this is the thing that I love. Like this is my job. Like, you know that my actual job, I love, but I love because it's not very difficult work for me. It's
Well, aren't you lucky?
yes, no, it's something that I enjoy doing. That I love doing.
Yeah.
But my dream job is just to be a trophy wife and do this as my full-time job.
Just being your fabulous peacock captain and
Yeah.
just be a witch and
Exactly.
be in the circle. In the
and,
Coven.
and planning the lessons and doing all that shit, doing like
sounds like a fucking great life to me.
full-on deep dive. That is all I want. That is just all I want. And
kids
hopefully
do you.
this is what my husband will get me eventually. I did not marry for money, but it's ending up that way. Wow.
You're manifesting it.
I'm manifesting
Oh my
it.
god, you're like totally
I'm
manifesting it.
Focusing my energy, my
You're
intent.
setting your intentions.
I set this intent the moment that I graduated college. I was like, I'm gonna find a sugar daddy.
Oh
But
my
then I just happened to like fall in love. You know, when I
Ugh.
yeah, I know, it sucks. But now I manifested it. I took what the universe gave me and I reshaped that matter into
You wove your
I
reality.
wore my reality.
Using the witch's pyramid as
Mhm.
your tools.
100%.
Nice, nice.
Is Paul gonna come?
I was gonna say, anybody else want to put in their 2 cents, or is everyone being
Paul.
camera shy? It's okay if you don't want to. So Alice is our Coven maiden,
Yeah.
which means that she's kind of like my second in command.
Exactly.
If I cannot perform my responsibilities as a high priestess, Alice steps up. And so, what was Circle like for you after a million trillion months of not being together?
Well, it was a very intense experience, and I have to say I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
That is the goal.
I loved being back with everyone. I loved doing magic with everyone. I love the way everything came together. I love the way we were able to build off of each other to do our magic.
Yeah.
And I loved the energy that we all created together, because we're all very serious about the work we do, but we can all still have fun with it.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And for me, it's just that combination of taking it seriously but still having the space to play, being free to come here, spend time with people who know me, who love me,
For who you are.
For who
Yeah.
you are. Exactly.
and actually like me for all my weirdness and whatnot.
Even if she picks the weirdest songs to sing, like before Circle and during
Yes.
Circle, like
Yes.
we're all like, oh, what about these super well-known pagan chants that everyone's been singing for the last 20 years and everyone knows the words and melody to? And then Alice will be like, what about this super obscure 16th century madrigal about sexual harassment? Like, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe
yeah.
next time.
Maybe next
you know.
time.
Hey, in all fairness, here's a branch of Snowy May is done at the New Paltz Beltane every year as part of their show.
Well, I'm not at the New Paltz whatever, so
That's the problem, is that we have not been to the New Paltz whatever.
New Paltz.
but like I said, put the Spotify link in the group chat. We will learn whatever
We will
song you want us to
absolutely do
learn.
it.
But but you be springing it on us.
Every time. I love it. It's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
Okay, great. I'll include a link to Sumer as a Kuman Inn.
There we go for the solstice. We'll do it.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
I know the other one. What's Hallanto? Hallanto, Jolly Rumbalo, we were out.
Wasn't that in,
before the day? Oh,
wasn't that in the
welcome
Wicker
in
Man?
the summer. Oh, welcome in the Mayo. No, this is just a separate thing. For summer is a coming in and winter's going away.
Hey.
But there's that's something. What I recorded it as a specific. Isn't it fabulous?
Why do you own this?
Because I own this.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. That makes so much more
Yeah.
sense now.
No, so I bought that when this existed. So
Come on, have a sit.
yeah, let's
We're
sit
ta-
on
we're
the.
talking.
Yes, we're just talking. Legit, theirs is not live stream.
I hope this is like the thumbnail for the video.
At this point, I mean, it's really what this conversation is.
Vote.
No, but that's the thing is that I got that and I got these. These are peacock sunglasses,
Oh my god.
inspired sunglasses.
Uh-huh.
Because this will be that, and this will be what I wear to the beach.
Nice.
And that's that. I love them so much, and I can't wait to get back in circle again in a few weeks. Until next time, guys, take care of yourselves and each other.